Howdy folks, welcome back to Boondockery. Today's video is going to be focusing on the last item that I am adding to my Wilderness Innovation Poncho Survival Shelter kit, and that would be a mosquito net. This is actually my second attempt at shooting this video. My first attempt was in northeastern Ohio when I was camping with a couple of my really good friends, and I was down to just a couple more scenes. It was the last scene that I was going to shoot and the sign off, and then this happens. This thing is incredibly easy to get in and out of. There's a two-way zipper. Just pull it to where it's in front of your arms. Now, praise the Lord, I wasn't injured. The only thing that would hurt was my pride, and unfortunately, my prized mosquito net. I absolutely love that thing. I used that with another hammock setup for a couple years now, and I absolutely loved it because it was green. And almost all the mosquito nets I've seen are black, and they are visible at a distance. And that green, as you saw in that little segment, I mean, it blends in really nicely. And it was really lightweight. Unfortunately, the lightweight nature of that mosquito net was also an Achilles heel because it made it particularly fragile. So I still have it. I'm going to salvage it and use it for other things. But I had to order another mosquito net that was very similar to it, and unfortunately I could not get my prized green mosquito net, so I had to opt for black. I'll be setting up my Poncho Survival Shelter slung as a hammock utilizing this new mosquito net. This particular mosquito net is about twice the weight of the other one, but with the reviews that were online, this looked to be one of the better choices was available. So I went and opted for this. It is a Wise Owl Outfitters Snug Net Bug Net. Catchy phrase, catchy little logo there. And I've already taken it out, looked at it. It looks like it's made pretty well. One thing I did to this prior to coming out today is I pre-attached a ridge line. And I'm going to explain why now. These are the clips that attach to your ridge line. And it looks pretty simple. It looks pretty straightforward. However, constantly putting the 550 cord inside this hook and then removing it each time I hung the bug net, it was a real pain. The ridge line that comes with this is much smaller in diameter, and I'd simply prefer to have the durability and the strength of the 550 cord. And it is a real pain because there is so little material to grab hold of while you're trying to twist the ridge line into the hook. It was very frustrating. So I'm making it a habit now of attaching it and keeping it pre-attached to my ridge line. Now this is the pre-attached ridgeline bug net combo. Now you have 5 attachment hooks that are there, and in the center there's a pretty well made. This is much better made than my last one. Zipper, and it goes in both directions, makes it easier to get in and out of. And at the bottom of it is an attached little stuff sack, and everything just fits right into this attached stuff sack. There's enough room in that for my toggle, for my ridgeline hook, and the ridgeline in here as well. And everything fits perfectly. And you have a drawstring with a cord lock and some webbing and a stick with plastic buckles, slide buckles, to pull it in there and cinch it down even smaller. As you saw, I was holding it in my hand. It's not particularly big, but if you want to make it just a little bit smaller, you can cinch it down with the straps that are on here. We're going to stretch it out so you can see how big it is, and then we're going to go ahead and install our Poncho Survival Shelter rigged up as a hammock. We're going to go ahead and attach our tree straps first. These are the do-it-yourself ones that I showed, demonstrated how to make several videos ago when I was first playing around with the Wilderness Innovations gear. Get those there, get the other one. Next, I'm going to prep my Poncho Survival Shelter and transform it from a poncho to a hammock by pulling the mule tape cinch straps on either side. Now, we're going to run our straps to our tree straps. The best way I've found to do this is you actually put your hand through the little conical tunnel for your tree straps to go through, and then grab your straps and pull them through. And the only thing I want to do is to make certain that those straps are not twisted, and the top of the hammock will be the top of the hammock. So I've got that. Attach this to the tree straps. We'll go ahead and start off at the 5th knot and adjust from there. We'll do exactly the same thing, making certain the orientation of the PSS in hammock mode is still correct. Run my hand through the other side. Yes, this is a much heavier duty net than the green one I destroyed. And pull that through, and I do have the correct alignment for my straps. Sure I haven't twisted those. We're good. And we will toggle those. That is most definitely going to need to be tightened further. I'm going to make some final adjustments and bring you back. One of the neat things about my tree straps that I made, when I configure it like this, I can actually attach both of the tree straps together above the hammock, and it gives me something to hang things on. I can actually even feed this through the tree strap sleeve and attach them inside the hammock. And I've attached the two tree straps I made with my toggle. That gives me a ridge line on the inside of the mosquito net to hang things from, and I've got my primary ridge line to support my tarp and the mosquito net. On either end of the mosquito net, this sleeve that allows you to run your straps through has this nice little nylon cuff with the draw cord and a cord lock. You just simply pull that shut, put your cord lock up, and I'm actually going to run this up and over my toggle, and I'm going to do that on the other side as well. Now this is where things went horribly wrong at my first attempt at this video. And the reason being, I had shot and reshot this scene about 15 times. And it seemed like something would always get snagged or tangled or things like that. And I just want it to be a smooth entry. And normally it is. However, I was getting frustrated and I wasn't thinking. And I did not separate my hammock. I pulled what I believe to be the side facing me, this side, not the back side, and pulled it in and got in. And this was under me as well. The back part was under me as well. And so literally I was sitting on a rope and I went under. So when you're doing this, make certain you don't pull the bonehead mistake that I did and separate the halves of your hammock. You're going to put both arms inside. Make certain you get the back part up and pull it in like this. And it is what it is. You do have to fiddle with it a little bit. And very carefully, and I do mean carefully, get your body in. Then you can pull the bottom part up and zip it. And I would highly recommend that you completely unzip the mosquito net when you do this. And you are now completely insect free. And to get out, you simply reverse that. Make certain that that zipper is all the way down. I know very few boomers that are nimble, but I'm nimble enough to get in and out of this. Like I said, the last one I had that I destroyed, I used that thing for a couple of years and I absolutely loved it. I'm not crazy about the black netting, but this is a much higher quality material. And then the other one I had, it's definitely made a lot better. It's also more than twice as expensive. I think I spent 13, 14 bucks on the green one, and I'll be looking forward to adding this permanently to my Wilderness Innovations OSNI kit. I know I'll probably get a question about it in the comments, so I'll go ahead and head off with a pass. It looks like I sling my hammock too high to a lot of people. That's perfectly fine. I prefer to sling my hammock high. I've found over the years that when I sling it in a position where I can comfortably, from a standing position, just sit down in it, by the time I wake up the next morning, my hammock is stretched, my tree straps have stretched, and with my old knees, it's a little difficult for me to get up out of that and into a standing position. When I sling it high, it does stretch overnight. Same thing with the straps, and it will stretch enough so when I'm ready to get out, I just put my legs down. My feet are usually flat on the ground, and I simply stand up. Worst case scenario, I have to, put one foot down before the other because it might be an inch or two higher than my feet touching the ground. But that's it. It's just personal preference. My first impressions of this new bug net is I like it a lot. The materials that they made this with are much higher quality than the one I destroyed. The zipper is a higher quality. Everything about it is a higher quality than the last one I had. I only wish that there was some possible way that I could have gotten this exact same one in green. But, for what it is, I know I'll be very thankful to have this, even if it's not the exact color that I wanted. And when I have my tarp slung over top of it, you'll never be able to see it anyway. But just a personal preference, again. Well, folks, as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. This thing is incredibly easy to get in and out of. There's a two-way zipper. Just pull it to where it's in front of your arms. This thing is incredibly easy to get in and out of. This thing is incredibly easy to get in and out of. This thing is incredibly easy to get in and out of.